What is up, guys? My name is PocketCraft and welcome back to the Minecraft Pocket Edition Survival Guide. So today's episode, we're finally going to fix this awful chest monster that I have going on here. And we're going to organize things. I'm going to teach you guys how to do a couple really important things that are kind of overlooked, but can really honestly save you so much time and make things so much easier. And they're things I've been ignoring. And that is, we're going to learn how to color and name shulker boxes to have them more organized. And we're going to learn how to organize our ender chest properly. Because as you can see, mine is a mess. And this is something I've just been putting off for a while. And it has cost me so much time because you constantly have to keep running back and forth between your base and sorting things out. And it takes so much more time to do things than it needs to. So this is what we're going to do today. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to color these. There's a couple that I want to start with. I have a couple of different things I'm going to do today. So we're going to do first of all, we'll talk about how to color shulker boxes, how to name them. And we're going to start with the ones for our villagers, for trading with villagers, because we have all sorts of farms that we have, so we can trade villagers for emeralds and stuff like that. I actually have a video about that you can check out if you'd like. But we're going to start with that and learn how to do that properly. And then we're going to go into the ender chest and sorting out things with the ender chest, just to make things a little bit more organized and make things better. So the first thing we're going to do is color some shulker boxes. And so I need to decide first which one. Okay, must be the beetroot one, which is good. I want beetroot to be red. And then we're going to have one more. We need 2 for beetroot. Then we're going to do 2 for potatoes. And for potatoes, I've decided I'm probably going to do white. I didn't actually explain there. How you dye a shulker box is pretty simple. All you need is a shulker box and then whatever colored dye you want. So whether it be red, pink, black, brown, whatever. And I'll go into dyes a little bit more later in a future episode, but most of them you can just get from flowers. There's a couple that come from other places, but it's not that hard. You can get white with bone meal. I figured that would probably be a good one for potatoes. But now we need to see how to name these, right? And, let me make sure. Okay, good. I want to make sure I didn't put any of the things in here that weren't supposed to be. Perfect. So this one's already named beetroot. I did that one off camera. So we'll go through here. We'll have one more. We'll just name this beetroot 2. I think you can have them of the same name, but just to make things even more organized, we'll do that. And we'll name these 2 potato. And so the reason I'm doing this is because my automatic crop farm is way too efficient. It's a really good farm. If you guys are looking for stuff to trade with villagers, do that one. I get so many crops, it's ridiculous. I keep having to expand the storage, and I keep being lazy and not taking things out. And so I want to have some shulker boxes dedicated to just transporting back and forth the crops from there. But I want it to be more organized than that, so that's what we're doing. This one is pumpkin and melons. And so we'll just go pumpkin / melon. And it's pretty easy. I guess I didn't talk about this either. I just started doing it. How you do it is you just throw it in an anvil. It costs 1 level, so you'll need at least 1 level. And then you name it whatever you want. And this will just be like other trade goods. It'll probably be, I could just name it miscellaneous, but that might be confused with other things. And so now we'll go over, and I'll just show you really quickly. I'll cut over to the farm to show you how bad it is over there, why I need to do this. Another reason I'm doing this is it looks so much nicer to look at shulker boxes when they're not all purple. It looks a lot better than just having a huge purple line. I like the way it looks a lot better. But if you look in here, I have added a bunch of storage, so things are starting to empty out. But I haven't had it super organized to where I did the hoppers a little bit weird. So this one's going to be full until I empty it. But then we'll go down here, and this one is full. This one is full. This one's just starting to get there, and then we have the one up top that's full. And it was a lot worse than this. I only had these 3 chests before today. They were all full. It was up here, and I kept having to empty it and just throw the crops into our bone meal thing here, which is nice because now we have a ton of bone meal, which is super convenient. But I need to empty this out and get it where I'm actually able to trade with villagers more. And so I'm going to do that really quickly while I'm here, just in the spirit of getting everything organized today. And you might be wondering why I'm focusing so much on organization today. There's a couple reasons. It's an important thing to teach because it really does help a lot. But 2, I'm getting ready to do some pretty big builds, and I want to make sure everything else is kind of tidy and finished up before I get into that. And so I'm going to do this part really quickly, and then I'll bring you guys back and we talk more about the ender chest side of things. All right, so I've got them all color coordinated and set up right next to the villager that actually trades for them. And now this is not going to be super permanent because one of the things that I'm actually planning on changing soon as one of my big builds coming up is going to be the village. I have some big plans for the trading hall, making it a lot different, a lot better, and adding a lot more villagers. But this is a good start to it. And I forgot about rotten flesh, so I added rotten flesh as well, because that's one that I need, because I get an insane amount of rotten flesh between my mob farm and my gold farm. I get way too much, and so I figured that would be a good use for that. But now we're going to get into the big thing of today, which is really organizing my ender chest, because if you organize your ender chest properly with a bunch of shulker boxes, you'll hardly ever have to go running back to your base, and that's the goal here. And my shulker box, not my shulker box, excuse me, my ender chest is a mess. So I'm actually going to completely empty this and then reprioritize everything. So I'll empty this really quickly and then plan things out a little bit in my head, and then I'll bring you guys back and talk to you about some of the things that you're going to want to do. All right, so I haven't completely filled it up yet, but I've come up with a fairly good list of things right now that you need. Now you can always add a couple other things, and I'm sure there's a lot of things I'm missing. Like one thing I keep missing is that I forgot to remind you guys to use the machine where you smash the like button. You guys should definitely do that if you get the chance. But besides that, let's go through what we got right here so I can show you guys some of the most important things to bring, in my opinion, and what I'm going to use. So this right here is a redstone box. And now I'll be adding things to this when I get more. But for the most part, I have the basis of almost everything you'll need to make any redstone contraption in here. And then it's important to remember that a couple of things are actually going to be in some of my other boxes here. Like this one right here is my miscellaneous box. And this is just about anything, random bits and pieces that you can find useful sometimes, like maybe a saddle or a lead or a bed or some shears, things like water buckets where you use them pretty often, but you don't know exactly when you're going to need to use them. It doesn't fit into a certain situation. And then in this black one right here, I've got it full of all different types of potions that could be useful, whether I need fire resistance or whatever. Then in this white one is just completely full of rockets, so I never run out while trying to get somewhere. This blue one is my backup gear, so just, I mean, these aren't the best enchantments, and I just realized I forgot to put some diamond feet in there, so I'm going to do that really quickly. We'll grab that while we're here. And none of these are super well enchanted. I will probably spend some time later on getting some better enchantments on these, but it's really just there for now so that if I end up dying or anything, I will have some protection to hopefully come and get my other gear back, and if not, at least I won't be starting from scratch. So I've got all sorts of good stuff in here. The elytra especially I should probably enchant, but I'll do that later off camera. This one's food. I'll need to get more to fill it up. I just picked up a little bit of my bread. I should have plenty with my farm over there. And then this one is just cobble and dirt, which are useful for so many things, especially coming into the redstone box. That, along with the wood that's in here, will help me finish making pistons, observers, whatever I need. A bunch of them take cobblestone. And then I've got another one with just all the different random types of crops, which seems like it's not the most useful thing. I'll need to name that. But you'll never know when you need to move an animal or something like that. And so those are all useful to have. And so I'll fill these all up. And these are kind of the basis of what I'm going to start with right now. These are like the must-haves for me. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some things. And I will end up adding some in the future, don't worry. Oh, one important thing is I definitely would recommend putting your excess shulker shells and maybe even shulker boxes in here, just because that'll make it really easy for you to move them around whenever you need to. I need to name that one still, so do that. A couple of these, I don't have every type of dye yet. I still need to go around and get more dye, and so that's something that I'll start dyeing these more regularly later. But I would fill up the rest of your ender chest probably with more shulker boxes, because then if you are anywhere and you need to move anything, say you're going end raiding or something, end raiding works perfectly with the ender chest, and you're getting a bunch of material, you don't know where to put it, it's great to have a bunch of shulker boxes in there, so you can do that. Or there's all other sorts of situations, maybe if you're mining or something where you just need to carry stuff, and it's nice to not have to run back to your base to get your shulker boxes. These ones are actually full of material for a different build that's coming up. And I would recommend just organizing it a little bit where these are at the bottom here. And now there's definitely a lot more you can do, but these are the basics of, like, if you're organizing an ender chest, these are things that you definitely are going to want. And the most important are probably the redstone, rockets, backup gear, food. The miscellaneous box is actually really nice. A bunch of different random types of blocks is nice. Potions aren't the most important, but it's definitely one that's helpful to have. And honestly, doing this will just make your life so much easier. It's going to make things so much better. Torches are another thing, actually, that should totally be in there. That's something I should have added. I'll do that later. And probably a fair amount of iron. I think I actually have some in there in the miscellaneous box, probably. Let me check that out, actually. I can't remember. If not, I'm going to put that in there because that's an important one. Iron you have to use for all sorts of stuff. especially if you're doing some redstone build somewhere. Okay, yeah, I have a little bit of iron in there. I could probably put some more in later, but that's all right. I have the iron farm, so it's not much of an issue. But honestly, that's a really good start. And another good suggestion is just to invest in a lot of ender chests, just so you can have them everywhere. And you can carry one around with you too. But that way, if you end up forgetting one somewhere, then most of the time when you're going somewhere important, like whether it be where your ocean monument is or where your farms are, whatever, there's already an ender chest there, so you don't have to worry about things like that. But I know this is a little bit of a shorter video with not as much in it, but I think it's an important thing to hit on. So let me know what you guys think are the most important things to put in your ender chest, things that you like to do to sort it out. And that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all in that next video.